What if everything you believe about death is a lie? We believe that death is the end, but what if it's just the beginning of something much greater? For many, Jesus of Nazareth symbolizes victory over death, but is the story we know about him really the whole truth? What if there are secrets buried over the centuries, altered to suit human interests? J.J. Benítez, author of the controversial Operation Trojan Horse series, challenges the traditional versions and raises disturbing questions. Did Jesus really conquer death, as the Gospels describe? Or was his narrative manipulated, hiding essential parts of his message? In this video, you'll discover Benítez's investigations, explore near-death experiences, NDEs, that challenge religious beliefs and question everything you know about what happens after our last breath. Get ready to face the truth and discover a spirituality that can transcend what we've been taught for centuries. Without further ado, let's get started. The experience of death. What really happens? Death is one of humanity's greatest mysteries, evoking fear and fascination in equal measure. While many religions offer their versions of what happens after our last breath, near-death experiences, NDEs, have challenged the traditional view of an absolute end. People who have survived cardiac arrest or extreme trauma report floating sensations, reunions with loved ones, and a welcoming light that seems to envelop everything in peace. Many also describe a panoramic review of their lives, where moments of happiness and regret play out like a movie. These accounts are not isolated. They recur in different cultures and contexts, suggesting that consciousness can transcend the physical body. Furthermore, the similarities between the accounts, even between people from different times and places, reinforce the idea that these experiences touch on something deeper, possibly universal. For example, indigenous cultures report similar spiritual journeys, often mediated by encounters with ancestors or spirit guides. But are these experiences merely chemical reactions of the brain, like a last burst of energy before death? Or are they concrete clues to a greater reality, where consciousness persists beyond the physical body? Science is still searching for definitive answers, but the consistency and richness of these testimonies invite us to question our certainties about what it means to die and what really comes afterwards. Death may not just be the end, but the transition to a new beginning, the understanding of which can transform our view of life. When science and spirituality meet in the laboratory. Recent research shows that science is increasingly interested in understanding MDEs, not just as neurological phenomena, but as possible evidence of a consciousness that transcends the physical body. Studies such as the one conducted by the University of Southampton revealed that around 40% of patients who suffered cardiac arrests reported experiences that defy physical explanations, such as observing precise details of resuscitation attempts or describing dialogues between doctors and nurses. Other studies, led by Sam Parnia and his team, have shown that many of these experiences occurred at times when the brain showed little or no activity, challenging the materialist view of consciousness. In addition, experiments with electromagnetic measurements and investigations at the intersection of quantum physics and neuroscience suggest that the mind can operate at levels we don't yet fully understand. For researchers and spiritualists like J.J. Benítez, these discoveries point to an undeniable link between science and spirituality, where the study of EPMs not only broadens our understanding of death, but also challenges scientific preconceptions by exploring what it really means to exist. By bringing together advanced technology, detailed human accounts, and spiritual concepts, this dialogue between science and spirituality opens up new ways of understanding life and death as connected parts of a greater journey. J.J. Benítez and the reinterpretation of Jesus. J.J. Benítez, author of the series Operation Trojan Horse, directly challenges the traditional view of Jesus, presenting a narrative that deconstructs many of the foundations of Christianity as we know it. According to Benítez, the figure of Jesus may have been carefully shaped by religious leaders over the centuries, erasing aspects of his message that emphasize spiritual freedom and universal connection. Benítez suggests that Jesus was more of a spiritual teacher who preached a direct connection with the divine, without intermediaries, and that his actions and words have been reinterpreted to reinforce power structures. For example, he proposes that events such as the resurrection could be understood in the light of spiritual or scientific phenomena that have yet to be explored, such as EPMs or even parallel dimensions. Benítez goes further by suggesting that Jesus may have been a messenger of universal spiritual laws, the same ones we find today in modern accounts of transcendental experiences. Some scholars investigating Benítez's series point to similarities between the biblical accounts of transfiguration and the descriptions of beings of light seen in EPMs. Could it be that by transcending the traditional versions of Jesus, we can find an even deeper meaning in his message? Or have we been led to believe in a limited version adapted to suit human agendas? These questions open up space for reflection on the true legacy of Jesus and how he can guide us towards a freer and more universal spirituality, in line with today's spiritual and scientific discoveries. The influence of religious beliefs on the view of death. Religions have profoundly shaped our view of death and the afterlife, but have these interpretations always reflected the original message of figures like Jesus of Nazareth? J.J. Benítez suggests that instead of a savior who preached fear and punishment, Jesus was a guide to spiritual freedom whose message was altered to consolidate the power of religious institutions. In Christianity, the idea of heaven and hell establishes definitive destinations for the soul. But what if this is a simplification created to control behavior? This rigid duality, according to Benítez, contrasts with the accounts of EPMs, who often describe the afterlife as a place of peace and reconnection rather than judgment. Benítez argues that Jesus taught about transcendence, unconditional love, and a direct connection with the divine, concepts that are echoed in modern near-death experiences. Accounts of NDEs reveal an afterlife that is far more inclusive and universal than dogmatic views suggest. Furthermore, there is growing evidence that religious messages, when filtered through political and social interests, have created narratives that emphasize control rather than true spirituality. Do these modern experiences point to the true essence of what Jesus sought to teach, which has been lost in the construction of an institutionalized narrative? Or does the broader spirituality described in the EPMs reflect a truth that transcends any religious system, inviting us to explore a more direct and personal relationship with the divine? The universality of spiritual experiences beyond faith and doctrine. Near-death experiences, NDEs, often transcend the limits imposed by religious or cultural beliefs, revealing a spiritual dimension that seems universal. Accounts from different traditions, such as Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam, point to surprisingly similar elements: a tunnel of light, encounters with loved ones, and a sense of oneness with something greater. Even people who identify as atheists describe experiences of profound peace and transcendence that defy rational explanation. This raises a crucial question. To what extent do religious interpretations shape our expectation of what comes after death? And how can these experiences overcome these limitations? For example, while many Christians expect to find heaven or hell, EPMs often describe an afterlife without divisions, focused on an energy of universal love. J.J. Benítez suggests that EPMs offer glimpses of a universal spiritual truth, broader than any specific doctrine. This leads us to consider whether spirituality, in its essence, isn't an innate connection with the divine that transcends organized beliefs. Reports of Christians who see no heaven or hell and people from other religions who encounter similar beings of light highlight that spiritual experiences can transcend dogmatic narratives, pointing to a common essence that unites all of humanity on its final journey. Perhaps EPMs are a reminder that the divine is beyond human limits, and that the search for meaning after death is a universal journey, shared by all cultures and beliefs. The encounter with beings of light and its interpretation. One of the most universal experiences of EPMs is the encounter with beings of light. For many, these beings are interpreted as religious figures, such as Jesus, angels, or other spiritual guides. But do these visions reflect a deeper aspect of spirituality that transcends specific religions? Some religious traditions describe the encounter with such figures as a moment of judgment or guidance, while modern accounts often highlight the unconditional love and acceptance that these beings emanate. J.J. Benítez argues that Jesus was not an exclusive symbol of a faith, but an example of connection with a universal source of love and wisdom. He suggests that the beings of light seen in the EPMs could be manifestations of this same divine energy that Jesus represented. Many researchers believe that these beings could be symbolic interpretations of a greater consciousness, or even representations of ourselves in an advanced spiritual state. If this is true, then Jesus would not be the exclusive savior, but a guide for everyone to recognize their own inner divinity. Furthermore, the similarity between the descriptions of beings of light in different cultures and times suggests that these experiences touch on something universal, regardless of religion or geographical location. This is in direct contrast to the narrative of exclusivity preached by many religions, raising an essential question. What if Jesus' true mission was to show us that the divine is accessible to everyone, without intermediaries? Perhaps the beings of light are a reflection of the spiritual potential of each individual, inviting us to explore the fullness of what it means to be part of something greater and eternal. The connection between past lives and the afterlife. Many cultures and spiritual traditions suggest that our lives are interconnected by a continuous thread of reincarnations, each offering lessons for our spiritual growth. Accounts of spontaneous memories of past lives, often by young children, have been documented throughout history and studied by researchers such as Dr. Ian Stevenson. These memories are usually accompanied by such specific details, such as names, places, and events, that, when investigated, they often prove to be accurate. For example, children in India and Turkey have described, with surprising accuracy, events that they could only have known if they had lived at the time mentioned. This idea of spiritual continuity also suggests that experiences in this life have a profound impact on our future lives, encouraging reflection on our actions and choices. If we live several lives, each one offers the opportunity to correct mistakes, grow spiritually, and advance on our journey. The connection between past lives and the afterlife is also echoed in contemporary philosophies that explore the idea of a greater purpose for human existence. Could the lessons learned through reincarnation be a way of evolving to a higher state of consciousness? This possibility, if true, reinforces the importance of living intentionally, seeking learning and growth in each experience, because each moment is a chapter in a story that transcends time and space. Lessons from near-death experiences, NDEs. As well as offering glimpses of the afterlife, NDEs often transform the lives of those who experience them. Many report a profound sense of purpose after their experiences, describing a radical change in how they view existence. Material issues, which previously dominated their concerns, become secondary to a new spiritual understanding. It's as if these people have experienced a universal truth, a state of love, peace, and interconnectedness that transcends the physical plane. One of the most striking aspects of these transformations is the way in which survivors come to value relationships, empathy, and the positive impact they can have on the lives of others. These accounts echo the spiritual teachings of many traditions, which speak of a fulfilling life when aligned with values such as compassion, gratitude, and purpose. Interestingly, Many people also describe a sense of loss of fear of death, seeing it as a continuation or transition rather than an absolute end. Studies in the field of psychology suggest that these changes are long-lasting and profound, often leading these people to reshape their careers, priorities, and even religious beliefs. If MDEs teach us anything, it's that life, despite its challenges, can be lived more meaningfully when we understand that we are part of something bigger. These experiences not only inspire those who live them, but also deeply touch those who hear these stories, creating a network of positive impact that extends far beyond the individual. Intuition and dreams, spiritual connections that transcend death. Intuitions and dreams often serve as portals to dimensions beyond material comprehension, offering messages that seem to transcend the barriers between life and death. Accounts such as that of the lady in the Dominican Republic illustrate the power of this spiritual connection. After the death of her husband, she received an unexpected vision in which he revealed the existence of a bank account unknown to the family. Upon investigation, the information proved to be true, highlighting the depth of this intuitive experience. In parallel, many people report vivid dreams in which deceased loved ones appear with messages of comfort, guidance, or even practical revelations. These dreams often contain details so specific that they defy conventional explanation, reinforcing the idea that spiritual communication can cross the veil between dimensions. J.J. Benítez argues that this kind of spiritual contact was something Jesus mastered and taught, inviting us to rely more on our own intuition as a tool for accessing realities beyond the physical. Scientists, on the other hand, are beginning to investigate how the subconscious can act as a bridge between the conscious mind and these spiritual dimensions. Perhaps dreams and intuitions are manifestations of a spiritual network that connects us all, helping us to overcome the fear of death and rediscover a personal and accessible spirituality. These experiences also have a profound emotional impact, offering comfort and a sense of continuity that transcends the barriers imposed by grief and physical separation. The importance of sharing life stories after death. Sharing stories of life after death can be a powerful way of inspiring and comforting others. These narratives not only offer hope, but also help to demystify the fear of death, one of humanity's greatest taboos. By listening to the stories of people who have had life-changing experiences, we can feel more connected and less alone on our journey. These accounts, often detailed and full of emotion, create a bridge between those seeking answers and those who have already had a glimpse of what lies beyond. In many cultures, the act of sharing these stories plays a therapeutic role, allowing people to process their own anxieties and build a sense of community based on empathy. How can we create a safe space to share these stories? By promoting open dialogues about life after death, whether in support groups, social networks, or even family settings. These spaces can encourage individuals to express their experiences without fear of judgment, enriching the collective understanding of what it means to die. In addition, these stories have the power to inspire new scientific and spiritual research, helping us to explore the mystery of existence more deeply. By creating this culture of sharing, we can help build a community of support and understanding, where hope, acceptance, and inspiration flourish, bringing more meaning to our earthly journey, the future of understanding life after death. As science and spirituality continue to intertwine, the future of understanding life after death looks promising. New research and discoveries could help us unravel the mysteries of existence and the afterlife. Advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence and neuroimaging are allowing scientists to analyze brain activity and states of consciousness at unprecedented levels. This, combined with investigations into spiritual phenomena such as EPMs, is creating a more robust scientific basis for exploring the afterlife. At the same time, the growing openness to interdisciplinary dialogues between scientists, theologians and spiritualists, is pushing the boundaries of what we understand about existence. What can we expect for the future? Perhaps an even greater integration between science and spirituality, where personal experiences and scientific discoveries complement each other to offer a more complete view of what it means to live and die. What's more, these explorations can directly influence our quality of life, inspiring more conscious and meaningful practices in the present. As we continue to explore these questions, we can open ourselves up to new possibilities and expand our understanding of life and death, turning fears into curiosity and uncertainties into hope. The future, it seems, invites us to look at death not as an endpoint, but as a new journey full of as yet unknown possibilities. The importance of hope in the afterlife. Hope is a powerful force that can guide us through times of difficulty. Belief in an afterlife can provide comfort and solace, especially for those who have lost loved ones. Knowing that death is not the end but a transition can help people deal with the pain of loss. This hope can be a beacon in times of darkness, reminding us that life goes on somehow. Accounts of near-death experiences reinforce this belief, describing an afterlife filled with peace, love, and reconnection with those who have gone before. In addition, spiritual practices such as meditation, prayer, and even keeping a gratitude journal help people cultivate a positive mindset about the future. By sharing stories of life after death and transformative experiences, we create a space of mutual support where hope flourishes. In religious and spiritual contexts, this belief offers a sense of purpose and a connection to something greater than ourselves, helping us to find meaning in times of loss. How can we cultivate this hope in our daily lives? By participating in support groups, discussing spiritual experiences openly, and promoting empathy in our interactions. This hope not only helps us cope with death, but also inspires us to live more fully and meaningfully, with a broader view of the human journey. We've come to the end of this video, but the exploration of life after death has only just begun. Near-death experiences, past life accounts, and investigations into Jesus and the afterlife show us that there is much more to discover about the mysteries of existence. Now we want to hear from you. Which part of this topic intrigued you the most? Leave your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to like the video, as this helps us to keep bringing you transformative content like this. Share it with friends and family so that together we can broaden this dialogue and question our beliefs. And of course, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss our next videos. Thank you for following us here, and until next time, keep exploring the unknown.